Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. Within the last hour, a jury has been chosen to decide the closely watched murder trial of Carmelo Anthony.
More than 500 people were on the list of potential jurors, but the jury will not include anyone who is black, despite this case being racially charged. Fox 4's Alex Boyer joining us now. Alex.
Hey guys, good evening. That's right. And I can tell you that a court spokesperson confirmed that there are indeed no black jurors on this panel. And I can tell you that before this jury panel was seated, the defense objected to 3 black women being struck by the prosecution. Now, the prosecution contended that it was due to the fact that the women were educators, noting that this incident happened at a school function with young students. The defense then pointed out that those were three of those were 100% of the available black jurors in what's called the strike zone, adding that the state struck all 3. The judge went out and reviewed their questionnaires and came back and said that the defense's challenge to the 3 jurors being dismissed was denied. The judge said the court found that the state had non-racial means to strike the jurors. Now, background. Carmelo Anthony, 17 at the time, is accused of fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf last year at a Frisco ISD track meet. Anthony was reportedly sitting under a tent. Witnesses say the two got into an argument and Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest. Metcalf died in his twin brother's arms. Police said that Anthony told them he acted in self-defense.
Greetings from the east to north to south, and this wicked-ass place. The topic, all-white jury. Translate that, guilty. The questions, why you think there will be not one black on that jury? Let's get into it. I'm your host. I am the one.
The question was, why you think that there is no black jurors on this jury? The answer is very simple. This is what I think. If you look over the history of white America and these good Christian white people, look over the history. These people can't win a damn thing unless they have the deck stacked in their favor. If you look over history, the deck is always stacked in their favor. Now, when they killed Medgar Evers, I think there was 2 trials, hung jury. That was a clear-cut case, but still, nope. They stacked the deck. George Stinney, the youngest person ever killed in America. All white jury. All white. Therefore, they got a conviction and he was executed by the state. Go down the list of every single trial that America has against any black person. You'll notice that 12 so-called impartial jury, you'll notice that they'll always stack the deck in their favor. I mean, you got to notice Marcus Garvey, kicked him out the country, went to trial, all white. Go down the list and tell me in any case where it was a case black versus white, they'll stack the deck in their favor every single time. Because the outcome that they want and the outcome that they will get is because they are not playing with a fair hand, an equal hand. Some people say it don't have to be equal, let it be fair. Not this good Christian white man. He won't have it equal or he will not have it fair. That's just the way he operates. That's the way he do things. This young man is going to be railroaded simply because the fact that these people don't play by the rules. The rules they play by is theirs. They make it up as they go along. I mean, look at the war. Look at the war that's going on right now. There's no planning. They make it up as they go along. And then they stack the deck in their favor. Emmett Till. That's the name I wanted. Emmett Till. There was a clear-cut case of these good Christian white men being guilty. All white jury. All white. Verdict come back, not guilty. You ever notice they stack the deck in their favor regardless? If it's a white man that's killing a black person, all white jury. Now, if it's a black man accused of killing a white person, all white jury. The thing they do is they stack the deck in their favor regardless, because they ensure the outcome that they want. You can't deal with these people. Under no circumstances can you deal with these people and expect some type of justice, because you won't get it. They stack the deck in their favor, and then they say, well, you was tried by your peers. Oh, give me a break. And these devils, they say that stuff with a straight face. They say it with a straight face. You know, yes, it was a fair trial. And I mean, they stack everything behind the scenes. The lawyers, crooked as hell. Huh? Prosecutors, crooked as hell. The judge, crooked as hell. The cops, crooked as hell. And they'll tell you with a straight face, you got a fair trial. Man, this man is the devil. This man is a pure as devil. You can't get no more wicked than this man right here. So when this thing go to trial, I hope the young brother the best. We'll be praying to the Most High in this case, because every earthly thing that we see down here is not in his favor. This man does this time in and time out. The whole world is tired of this man. What man am I talking about? The good Christian white man. The whole world is tired of him because he stacked the deck in his favor time after time after time. And then he tell you with a straight face, you're a criminal. Go around the world taking every nation's natural resources, the Europeans. And then they'll tell you with a straight face, you're a criminal. They steal multi-billions of dollars worth of natural resources. You take a 15-cent candy bar and they give you life. And then they call you a thief. And they castigate you in the media. You know, we're dealing with the devil. You can't get an honest answer out of this man because his ways are wicked. The Bible describes him as a person that kills, steals, and destroys. Yeah, that's a good Christian white man. We need to take time with a straight face with his corporate bought media. And when he bring the general public a narrative that already found the black person guilty. Because some of this, the first part of the video, I cut out. You know, they want to make it feel like the general public feel like it was a 19-year-old attacking a 17-year-old good Christian white person. I think both the young men were 17 at the time. But see, these devils, that's the dirty tricks that they play. That's the tricks that they play on the general public. And I can see these good Christian white people. Yeah. Another thing, they say he didn't go to the school. Well, you can go visit any school to see a track meet, any type of sporting event. You can go, you can look. The young man was an athlete. If I was a boxer and I know it's a boxing match, I want to go see. I want to see how my competition box. If I'm a football star, if I heard about a person playing football, I'm going to go see how he play. If I'm a track star, I'm going to go see how the person's run. But not this media. Well, he was there at a school he had no business being at. You're dealing with the devil. You can't get no worse than this man right here. The man is just pure evil. Now, I'm going to go to another perspective. The professor of truth. He talks intelligent. You know, I just ramble on. So let's get a different perspective. Let's go to the next clip.
The jury for the Carmelo Anthony trial has been impaneled, and as we've seen in every other criminal trial in America, the prosecutors made sure to zero in on whatever black people were in the potential jury pool and to have them struck from consideration. The prosecutors selectively singled out only the black jurors, all 3 of them, and used their peremptory challenges to exclude them. When Carmelo Anthony's defense attorneys pointed out that these black jurors were being excluded because of race, the prosecutors claimed that they struck them from the jury due to their occupation as educators. I'm not making that up. That's what these prosecutors said, that these 3 black women, and only these 3, were unfit to sit on the jury because they were educators. So apparently being in the educational field makes you unqualified to sit on a Texas jury? Well, given how the racist punk in the wheelchair, Greg Abbott, has been on a jihad to ban school books, maybe the prosecutors are telling the truth. But even if we were so silly as to believe that that was the case, then why, as Carmelo Anthony's lawyers asked, did the prosecutors not strike a white woman who was also an educator? There's no exact quote from the prosecutors on their excuse for that, but the white media is doing their job and offering excuses for them, so the white media is trying to claim that, well, it's because this white woman, she didn't work with school-aged children. Now, the prosecutors didn't say that. The white media is saying that it seems to be. That's the wording that they're using. Now, since when has being a school teacher ever been a disqualifying factor from jury duty? Since the teachers in question were black, that's when. This is white racism doing the old, I'm white and I said so. What the prosecutors are doing is illegal under the U.S. Supreme Court's Batson v. Kentucky ruling in 1986, which prohibits using race to remove prospective jurors. But as we see with every other form of anti-black discrimination, the perpetrators are allowed to do it and to engage in this behavior openly so long as they don't admit that it was racial. They can just use any flimsy, feeble lie they want, and the white authorities will play along and give it a wink and a nod and pretend like they believe it, when in reality everyone knows exactly what the real reason is, and that's the entire point. This is white supremacy engaged in a blatant double standard, where if you're a white racist, you can go ahead and discriminate against black people and just say it was for some other reason, and nobody questions it, they just accept it. On the other hand, if you're black and you actually stand up for justice, well, they say, well, there must be something racial behind it. That's the entire point. It's white fiat. That boy shouldn't even be on trial. Carmelo Anthony maintained from the very beginning, from the moment the police violated his rights by arresting him, that he was innocent and that he had been attacked by the white man that he's accused of stabbing. The police put it in their report that he said, "I was protecting myself," and that the man, Metcalf, had put his hands on me. He used that phrase repeatedly, saying he put his hands on me. I told him not to. Carmelo Anthony has been completely consistent with his defense from the very beginning. See, what the white media would love to do in this case is to dirty him up. They've done everything that they could to try to see if they could find a way to smear him, but they couldn't. And they really were furious when his outrageous bond, which shouldn't even have been assigned in the first place, got reduced because he has no criminal record. He has no priors. But forget about a reduced bond. He shouldn't even be on trial in the first place. Now, the Carmelo Anthony case has a number of similarities to another case of a black citizen who was forced to have to defend himself from a white aggressor. John White of Long Island, I've told you about him before. His son was a teenager who was violently attacked at a party by a gang of racist white thugs. When Mr. White's son went home, these white thugs got in their car, and in the middle of the night, they went to the home of John White and called themselves standing outside of Mr. White's home, demanding that he send his son out. This was a white lynch mob, not in the South, but in a northern state, New York, no less. And Mr. White protected his family from this racist white mob, as he should. But the similarities between the John White case and the Carmelo Anthony case don't stop there.
You know, this country will never change. This country will never change. But destruction is at America's back door. I've reached my time limit. Thank you for watching. I am your host. I am the one.